your shoulders hurt when you press, it's not just a rotator cuff issue. Most lifters rely on bands, rotator cuff drills, all these freaking posts that you'll see like 3 things to fix all of your shoulder pain for the rest of your life, and honestly just resting when their shoulders hurt. But none of that actually fixes the real issue. So I want to show you what exactly is causing your shoulder pain with lifting and how to fix it so you can press pain-free again. First mistake. It is relying on the band work, doing external rotations till the cows come home, and assuming that it's just going to fix everything. But it's not. Mistake number 2, ignoring your upper back or thoracic mobility. We want to make sure that that mid-back thoracic spine is moving very well so that your shoulders aren't having to compensate for your mid-back. Just a quick test. If I'm here, if I'm rounded, and I try to raise my arm up, that is literally as high as I can go, okay? And I want you to try it too, just so you know that I'm not like BSing. But if we stand up nice and tall, we get that thoracic extension. Look how far I'm able to raise my shoulder. Having better thoracic mobility allows our shoulder blades to be in a better spot, allows our thoracic spine to be in a better spot, and allows us to move our shoulders without relying on that compensation to get overhead, whether it's a shoulder press, it's a jerk, it is a snatch, whatever it is. It allows us to go up overhead without that ridiculous amount of compensation and pain. Number 3 is thinking that you need to rest instead of just modifying your lift and just assuming that, it's either rest or you train through the pain. There is a way that you can do both, where you are scaling back just a little bit, you're modifying, you're taking videos of your lifts, you're seeing what's going on, see if you can figure it out. And you're, adding things like tempos, pauses, or you're doing some pre-fatigue work. Something like that allows us to still continue to train without pissing the injury off, okay, or the pain off. So stop doing the band work that doesn't actually address any of the issues. And one thing that I didn't mention, we also want to make sure that we are working on the scapula and the periscapular muscles, okay? So that's just a fancy word for the shoulder blade and the muscles around it. This is literally the underrated player when it comes to shoulder rehab. We want to make sure that this thing is not winging. We want to make sure that it's not sitting way too far forward. We want to make sure that it's moving, it's gliding, it's rotating, it's pulled back, is on the rib cage, not stuck on the rib cage, but not winging either. So we really want to make sure that this guy stays nice and strong. We want to make sure that it is doing its function, because if you can look, if I move, so if we wing the scapula, if we are rotating, if we're sitting super far forward, it's going to automatically change the position of the shoulder joint. Okay, so look at that. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're doing the shoulder blade work so that we can actually have that shoulder in a much better position, okay? Then we want to make sure that thoracic spine is nice and mobile, nice and strong, so that, again, we're not compensating. And if you're not sure, again, do that test that I showed you, because it is drastic and alarming to see how much that mid-back actually plays in shoulder health, okay? And then again, rest just doesn't work. It just doesn't piss the issue off. And a lot of times it ends up making things worse. So we got to train smarter. We got to rehab smarter and more efficiently and not just rest. Okay. So again, make sure you're working on the shoulder blade muscles. Make sure you're improving your thoracic mobility. And as always, make sure that you're training through a full range of motion. This is going to allow you to strengthen your shoulders in those end ranges of motion, so that, we don't go for a 1 rep max, we fail it, we get hurt because we're not strong in that position. We want to make sure we're training through that full range of motion. So if this makes sense, like, subscribe, do all the things. I want you to let me know if you've had shoulder pain, what you've done for it, and if you actually worked the shoulder blade, because a lot of times people don't. And that is honestly a huge, huge underrated player when it comes to shoulder rehab. So, as always, like, subscribe, do the things. If you're ready to take the guesswork out of your rehab, out of your strength program, shoot me a DM on Instagram. Let's get this party started. Let's get you training smarter, not harder, and doing all the things. All right, see you next time.